Good morning, everybody. Well, I am loaded up on coffee and I thought, why waste it? Let's go out and check out the orchard and see how it's doing. So first of all, it has been a long, cool spring. We're finally starting to get some sun around here. But would you check out those grapes? They're not as far along as they normally would be, but they are completely loaded. Now, we'll see if they actually get to a point where they're able to finish ripening through the summer here. We do have longer summers generally that go into October, but I mean, these things are just loaded down and I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn out. Here's another view from this side of it. You can, Henry, there's another view and you can see that these things are just everywhere. I've never seen these grapes loaded down this much with fruit. I mean, I've never seen it. As these things mature and get older and older, they are just really starting to pump out the produce and fill in the aisles here. I'm definitely gonna have to do a pruning next year. These right here, I believe, if I remember correctly, are the red grapes. I've got a red and a green. And then of course over here on the fence line, I planted 2 new varieties last winter. So they'll be a few years before they get up to size, but let's stand back here and get a big wide view of all this. Those things are just out of control. I love our grapes. The strawberries are doing well, and as you can see, they have just really filled in this whole area very quickly. I mean, they're much bigger than the TriStar that we had before. The plants are. The berries are also bigger. I was hoping for a more abundant crop all at once, and while we're kind of getting that, they're not quite as many berries as I thought there would be, but these are really young plants, so I think they'll do better and better over time. But let's give you a look here on how these are looking. This is typically what we're getting right now. Now these are June bearing, they're not ever bearing, so if I can get down in there, they're not ever bearing, so they're gonna produce pretty much during one period of time, but that's what we're getting right now. Really nice strawberries. They're a little bit bigger and fuller than those TriStar, and they have a good flavor. My wife's already come through here and canned 1 batch of jam with them, so hopefully we'll get more. Actually, we will get more. There's a lot of green ones down in there. So, and like I said, we had a long, late spring, so we should see some more ripening here over the coming weeks. And now for one of my pride and joy areas of the orchard, the blueberries. I love blueberries. I could eat blueberries all day long, but let's go through these and show you what we've got going on because they are loaded down. They're starting to ripen and we should get blueberries now for weeks here as more and more green ones turn blue, and I'll be out here picking for a while. So first of all, you can see our new row here is really coming in nicely. It's growing well. I've been out here hand watering. We did do another layer of grass mulch along there. I think that looks really nice against the mowed lawn. And like I said, it keeps weeds down. We really don't have to do much in the way of weeding. We don't use any chemicals. We just put grass clippings down in these areas. But look at these blueberries. Check this out. These things are just covered in blue, and I need to pick today. I've actually got a little bucket to pick all of these, but let's go down through here. So obviously some of these I don't know, but this is one I don't know. It's loaded. This is one I don't think I know. At one point I did film all of this, I think in one of my videos, the varieties, the ones I did know, but here's that Chandler loaded down. And really, I'm gonna tell you guys, I know the Toro I said was one of my favorites. It still is, but this Chandler, I mean, I'm in love with it right now. Of course, the Toro's not quite ripe yet. Those berries will get much bigger and fuller and they'll be just absolutely beautiful. And this plant produces like crazy, but the Chandler always comes in a little sooner and I'm just in love with it right now. It's got tons of beautiful, sweet, awesome berries. And then I don't remember this one, but I've got it in the video. We've got our pink popcorn. These kind of turn a little more pink before they're fully ripened, but they never turn blue. The girls picked that one out. They really love it. And I don't know what this one is. I think it's an Elliott, but smaller blueberries, but very good flavor. Let's fill that bucket. right, check that out. Imagine all the berry, gooey goodness things you can make all winter long, and just grabbing handfuls of these things through the summer and eating them raw. I love these blueberries. They're so full of antioxidants. They're sweet, they taste good, they're healthy, and they're on the gift that just keeps on giving. They're just growing in the orchard. And that's what I love so much about orchard growing versus vegetable growing. We do have a vegetable crop, but I love these orchard trees and plants and shrubs because they just produce year after year, and they will come on better and better every year as time goes by. You can collect and harvest a ton of produce and freeze it for your entire winter right here out of an orchard. And it just requires a little bit of watering, occasional organic mulch, and that's it. They pretty much take care of themselves. So the raspberries have seen better days, but we're on a mission to reclaim this little section. Now, these old dead canes are from 2 years ago. This new growth is really what we're counting on. Now, last summer was a very hot summer in our location. It was uncharacteristic. I think we got up to 112 degrees, and we were gone for a week, didn't water them, and they didn't really produce berries last year very well at all. And the new growth was short and stunted. And so this is what we've got. The first year they send up these primocanes, and they don't fruit. The second year, this variety sends up these, or well, they're already up, but they produce fruit on the floricanes, which is the second season. And so then those die back and they become dead canes like in here. We really need to get those out of there. So our goal right now, we need to go through here, clean all this up, get all the canes out. And then, as I said before, I'm eventually gonna put some posts on either side, widen this bed to about 3 foot, and we're gonna have fencing on either side all the way down and run the chickens through there to get the weeds. But even despite the bad summer we had last year with the heat, they still sent up enough canes and are producing very well this year. It's amazing. Now, my mother-in-law is where I originally got these berries from, and we just went over and picked at her house yesterday because she keeps them constantly watered. And I'll show you a little clip here from her house. Her raspberries are just absolutely amazing, and this is what's possible with these raspberries if you just keep enough water to them, even in the heat. But check this out, even in a bad year, there's abundance of berries, and they're so sweet and just delicious, and you can collect bags, freezer bags full of these things and store them all winter long for smoothies and cakes and anything else you want to make with them. My wife usually cans jam for the kids for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it lasts us all winter long. Finally, we've got our apples here in this part of the orchard and the pears. So these are the espalier trees, and they are really growing up like crazy. Now, this would be a good time right now, about the middle of July, to do the summertime pruning, and that's about when I do it. You could wait a little bit longer, but this is generally when I do it. I'm thinking about leaving these just the way they are this year because I'm trying a little something. Now, I know if you prune some of these apples out, you'll get bigger, stronger apples. But if I let all of this new growth happen here and just keep water on them, I'm wondering if I can get this abundance of apples to continue being supported by this tree. I mean, I've just got tons of apples throughout these things. And like I said, pruning them back can help increase the size of each individual one, but what if you just kept all the branching on it through the summer and let them create all the photosynthesis that they need, all the sugars and foods they need, and just keep them full of water so that they can just plump up all of those apples? I don't know, we'll see what happens. The pears are coming along, although I've noticed they don't seem to like the espalier style quite as much. You can see the apples over here are just like looking really big and healthy and beautiful, and the pears are a little more sparse, but they are doing well. I will say this is a Bartlett, and it's doing the best of all of them. Looks absolutely beautiful. We've got a bunch of little pears. Check this out. Bunch of little pears growing on these guys. Just look absolutely beautiful. And we got some Bartletts last year off this one, and they were very, very good fruits. So we got a lot of fruit this year coming along. I'm excited about getting those this fall and trying them out. This tree didn't take as well to the espalier. You can see the growth down below the new stuff isn't looking as good. It's got some kind of a rust or a virus or something going on with it, but very healthy tree. It's sending up tons of new growth, just not liking that espalier style so much. I think we've got a pear or two throughout there, but not much going on with that one. There it is, a couple pears right there, but not a whole lot. And then we've got our moon glow. It's taken a little better to the espalier style. It's doing okay. This branch, I've been waiting for it to send up some new growth so that I can extend it out, but it's just not doing anything on that branch. I folded this one down to keep it continued on along this little wire here, but this tree always was smaller, and it's just taking longer to finish out that the lateral branches there. It is loaded with a bunch of pears though, and looking really good. It's a more red pear. And I don't think I've tried this one yet. It's the first year we've gotten all these pears on here. And so I'm looking forward to trying this one. But this center one here, that's the moon glow. This center one here is the Comus. Not taking as well to the espalier style. We'll see. Every year's been different for these. So maybe next year, this will be the star. But this year, the Bartlett is really performing nicely. There you go, Mark. There's our zucchini. Because of the late spring or the long cold spring, our plants are not nearly as big as yours, but they are looking beautiful and they are starting to pump out these flowers. So we should be seeing some zucchini real soon here. We always plant a little bunch of zucchini in that little corner. Works out real well. So over on the end of the raspberry row here, we've got two new grape varieties that I picked up just this past winter. I got these from Kim up in Seattle, and she's on the fig forums. Everything I've gotten from her has been really nice stuff, but that one's growing up nice and growing along the fence line here. This one's taken off real good. These grapes, they start off real slow, but as you can see, in fact, let me get those tags and show you what varieties I've got. This one was Reliance, and then this one was that Kyoho. And I'm really excited about this one because if I remember right, it's got those big, giant, reddish purple color grapes. Kyoho. But like I said, they start off real slow like this. It takes a couple of years. And then eventually, boom, they just get massive. And once they take off and they really start getting their stride, they just grow huge. So today is July 20th, and it's been about a week since I filmed that last little clip there. I thought I'd come out and show you guys a quick little update of what's going on in just a week. We've got a lot more sun out here and warmth, and things are really starting to take off. So you can see right here, the zucchini are really starting to put some size on them. We've got zucchinis forming. There you go, Mark. We're getting somewhere now. This summer's not a complete dud. You can see down in there, we've got some really nice zucchinis, a whole bunch of little guys starting to form all over there, and we will get zucchinis pumping out all summer long. The strawberries are just taking off. They did start producing more berries here for a little bit. I think they're gonna get better as time goes by, you know, over the next year or two. But one thing I'm noticing, so those over there are the hood strawberries. I believe they're called hood. And these are the sequoia, and I think I like the sequoia better. Look at how massive these strawberries are, and they're pretty young plants. But I tasted one the other day, and they're really sweet and juicy and good, and they're full big berries. Here's another green one coming in right next to it. There's a whole bunch throughout there, but if you're looking for good varieties to plant, we've tried TriStar, we've tried hood, and sequoia. And so far, I'm really liking these sequoia. Despite all the picking, these blueberries are just coming on more and more. We got to come out and pick again today. We've been picking a few times here since all of that started. And like I said, it's been 6 days since that last clip that I did for you guys. And they're just loaded again with blueberries. Once these things get up in size, you just can't say enough for them. They just keep pumping out the produce. And we've been freezing these, eating them, and just loving how much fruit these berries are producing. And here we go. This is that Toro, and it's finally starting to turn a little bit of blue, and they really plump up right there towards the end. Look at the size. Look at that. We go from these little berries right in here And then right before they turn blue, they just plump up nice and big. And that is just an awesome producer. I think the Chandler and the Toro, they're kind of a medium growing bush, and they just pump out the berries. Really nice tasting berries. And then there's the pink popcorn, finally ready to start harvesting. Look at how heavy that branch is. It's just weighing down there like crazy. And like I said, they won't turn blue, they'll just be pink, but they taste really good. And as I've been editing this video, I realized that I didn't actually give you the varieties of these two grapes. So for those of you who are interested, because I mean, in our area, Western Washington, Zone 8B, these things are just pumping out beautiful grapes on both sides. That one over here, these two massive grapes are just two plants. So that first one over there is Remaily White, and it's a green grape. And then, or a white grape if you're sophisticated. And this is Flame Red, and I love these red grapes. So I had them backwards in the beginning when I told you. So it's the Remaily White and the Flame Red. And then I haven't actually shown you guys this, but I actually planted a Cannabis grape a couple, well, maybe, yeah, 2 years ago. It just keeps getting weed whacked by me and never gets a chance to take off. But I'm doing a better job protecting it this year, and hopefully at some point that Cannabis will take off. I'll keep this thing pruned back, and we'll have 3 grapes along here. So there you have it, a nice orchard update for the middle of summer. We're already getting produce out there. Things are just starting to move along. We've kind of passed the raspberry phase now. Actually, we got a ton of them out here that I've been eating through the last week or so. And then we actually went over to my mother-in-law's and we're able to pick, I can't even tell you how many raspberries. She's got 4 rows similar to that, and we just pick and pick and pick, and we've got freezer bags full of raspberries in there. So the apples are coming down the road, the pears, everything is just doing really well this year out there in the orchard, even despite the long, cool, wet spring that we had. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know some of you guys want to see how this is developing through the seasons. There will be plenty more to harvest as we go. I'll come out and show you that when it's time to show you that. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow along and see those updates. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.